to a street. Like me and cigarette and statues on my feet. Got to find a reason to get along. Got to find a reason why money's on the
Oh, man. Live from Live Mana Worldwide Studios in the heart of Little Italy, San Diego, the greatest city in the world. Not that your city's not great, but San Diego's pretty fantastic. This is Joshua T. Berglan's Morning Gratitude with the Mayor. Wow, what a day. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This broadcast is brought to you by... I'm going to cry. This broadcast is brought to you by E360 TV. Oh, wow. I can't even spit this out. This is amazing. This broadcast is brought to you by E360 TV, the Edge Radio Network, the Melissa Hall TV show, Live Mana Worldwide, and SoCo Cannabis Creations. Praise God. I'm butchering these intros every day. I am so sorry. We are being heard live on Spreaker. We're being heard live. Oh my God, this is just, I'm so sorry. I'm going to get used to this eventually, but I have to be honest with you guys. Everyone listening on Spreaker live, everybody listening on the Edge Radio Network, everyone watching live on Facebook Live, and everybody from the E360 TV network, you have to understand that every moment, every day I get to do this, I get giddy and almost emotional. This is a dream for me. Gosh dang it, I thought I got my tears out this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joshua T. Berglan's Morning Gratitude, and I would be remiss to say, if I did not say that today I am grateful for all of the people that have made all of this possible. Melissa Hall, thank you. Aaron, thank you. Glenn, thank you. Manny Lopez, thank you. Everyone listening and watching on Facebook, thank you. SoCo Cannabis Creations, thank you. Dave SoCo, thank you. I'm so thankful. God. One day I'm going to get used to this, I think, but I am so thankful to all of you guys. I am really excited to be here. This is everything in the world to me. I love doing this. This is something that I get so excited. I have to make sure that I calm down my emotions before the show because every time I get to do this, I am excited and I feel blessed, and I'm blessed to I'm blessed to be here, and I'm blessed to have you. Guys, I'm just really, really grateful to have all of you here, everybody listening on the Edge Radio Network, everyone listening live on Spreaker, everybody watching live on Facebook Live, and everybody from E360 TV. Thank you so much. I'm going to have an intro soon, so I don't have to butcher this anymore. But I am so thankful for all of you. Good morning, Veronica, Kim, Mary, Aaron, Carl, Jane, Brian, great to see you. Ivan, great to see you, my man. Jane Stewart, great to see you. God bless you guys. Thank you for joining the show. If you're listening live on the radio right now, you can come check us out on Facebook Live. Just look up Joshua T. Berglan. Look up Joshua T. Berglan's Morning Gratitude. I think you can go to E360 right now and see us live. It is just an absolute amazing day, and I'm so blessed to be here. There's a lot to get into today. It's just terrific. I had the blessed. I was at Manny Lopez's. Manny Lopez puts on an amazing event called Cervex, and at the Cervex San Diego, I had the pleasure of meeting an amazing woman. I mean, I remember just seeing her. I didn't know who she was, but I could just feel her energy, and I just and watched her smile and watched how she interacted with other people, and I thought, God, That's an awesome woman right there. And then she came up and talked to me and asked to take a picture. I almost lost it because I have so much respect for this woman. And now I am blessed to have her on the show. Guys, we are going to have a long show today because I also, right after the one and only Nancy Burroughs, we have Chris and Eric Martinez coming on the show. And I'm super stoked about that. Like, I hope I don't run out of energy. So I need your comments. If you guys have questions, don't be afraid to ask. And so radio audience, if you want to be able to interact and ask questions, just come over to Facebook, join the crowd. We have a beautiful crowd today. Kim, good to see you. This is amazing. So you guys, let's get right into this. So Nancy Burroughs, MA. What does MA mean? Does that mean master's? I have my master's degree. I need to figure that out. She is an influential speaker for women's events, business events, conferences, and retreats. She has been the keynote speaker at numerous events, including Edwards Air Force Base. Nancy is a transformational relationship coach and the author of Power of the Question, 100 Questions to Strengthen Your Relationship. She is the CEO and founder of Nancy Burroughs International. Nancy has a master's degree in marriage and family therapy and is a certified life coach, as well as being certified in both NLP, I need to learn about this, and timeline therapy. Since 1997, she has been passionate about creating a space for people to heal their past, step into their personal power, and live their purpose. Amen. I'm excited about this one. As a professional speaker, has given over 500 speeches. Nancy shares her personal story, which inspires others and gives them hope that there is a way to heal and restore love. Her profound concepts and tips will leave the audience wanting more as she expands their mind to new ways of thinking and behaving. Nancy lives in Leona Valley, California. Leona. I'm used to Indian words from Oklahoma. I don't know what that word is. Where she has been married to her husband, Michael, for 29 years. Together, they have raised 3 children, Jesse, 30, Jake, 27, and Leslie, 21. Coaching is the heart of her work. When there is an integration of knowledge and behavior, that's where wisdom begins and transformation occurs. She works with individuals, couples, teens, high schools, businesses, and churches. Her clients will walk away with skills in personal development and relationship mastery. Ladies and gentlemen, oh my gosh, the one and only, the lovely, the beautiful, and I'm blessed to call a friend, Nancy Burroughs. Welcome to the show.
Hey, good morning.
How are you? Good morning. Welcome to Morning Gratitude. That's a lot to spit out. You are quite the accomplished woman. I didn't know you were that much of a badass when we met. Wow. Golly. I thought you were a fan of me when you asked for a picture. I should have asked you that damn autograph. God. How are you today?
I'm awesome. I'm so glad to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy to have you. I'm sorry about my emotional intro. I got to tell you, man, God is amazing. And it's just like every little step to achieving this childhood dream of mine. God, I'm going to quit talking about it. Anyway, so Nancy, what are you grateful for today?
Okay, well, right off the top, I am really grateful to be here with you and your people, right? This is so awesome to get together and share energy and tips and concepts to help people. I just love that.
I love it.
I'm also grateful for, as you just mentioned, God's unconditional love. I mean, where would we be without that? No matter what I've done or how well I've done it or how poorly I've done it, God loves me regardless. So I'm going to bank on that one, right? I'm grateful for my family. I love being surrounded by my people, right? They make me happy. Mm-hmm. And, okay, I bet you don't know this about me, or you might. I love taking photos. So I'm very grateful for nature. I love the ocean, the trees, the mountains, the snow, the textures, the colors. I love it all. Love that picture.
No. So if you're listening on the radio right now, I really want to start this thing. And this is what my friend Melissa Hull had a suggestion about Funky Photo Friday. And I love seeing people's funny photos. And so here's my funky photo.
It's right in.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but tell us about your photos.
Oh, I love taking photos. Different angles, just seeing things through our eyes, right? Everything in life is how we see things, whether it's a photo or it's in our relationships. How are we seeing things? Through what lenses are we seeing things?
Wow.
You know, are we seeing things through anger? Are we seeing things through joy? How are we envisioning things?
I love that. So tell me, so the motivation for the photos and that angle. So give me an idea of a situation in a relationship. Speaking of, because let's just go with men and women. Mm-hmm. We speak completely different languages. And we see things through different lenses. We see things through various experiences.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about that.
Hmm.
You're the photo. I mean, you were mentioning photos. So give me let's talk about it. Explain to me like scenarios of how people look at through these different lenses, how that can affect our relationships and how we might be able to improve them.
Absolutely. You know, when we come into this world, we come in so pure and we come in with joy, and there hasn't been any trauma. We just want to be loved, right? Loved and held.
Right.
And then the world comes in and we're watching and we're depositing these thoughts into our brain, right? Maybe there was a math teacher that said, you know what? You just don't do math very well. And so what did I tell myself? I actually heard that. What did I tell myself? You're not very good at math. So I might have deposited the thought, you're just not that smart, right? Or life happens to us. And, you know, I was sexually abused by my brother, my adopted brother. So what thoughts might have I put in my head? I'm dirty. I'm full of shame.
Tainted.
I was adopted. What thoughts might I put in my head? Oh, maybe you're unlovable. People will leave you in life. So see how the world comes in and we have an emotion, then we get a thought, and then we attach beliefs to it. Then we write a story in our head. I know this is a lot to follow, right? Then we write a story in our head and we believe it, whether it's a lie or the truth. Yep.
Oh my God. My picker is broken. So everything you're talking about is the stories I refer to them as labels, but they're stories. And,
sure.
You know, after what had happened to me as a child, with being molested, I thank God it wasn't a family member. I can't imagine what that would have done. But the physical abuse, the abandonment, and then letting that poison my soul. But I told myself I was damaged. I would never, like my mother and my grandmother are the biggest influences in my life. And I know they're not perfect, but I had them on a pedestal because it's what I respected. That was the model woman that I desired and I wanted. But I never strived for that because I didn't think I was worthy. I thought I didn't deserve to have what I respected and wanted. I settled in my mind. I made choices based on, oh, she'll love me. You know, she's whatever, like she'll make me better, or I would tell myself stories to make up for the fact that I felt inadequate and that I didn't deserve to have what I wanted. And it's amazing how those stories that I told myself, how it shaped me going into a relationship, my first marriage, that I should not have ever been in. But I thought, oh, I just found out that I had a 3-year-old daughter, moved back from Florida to Oklahoma. And I started telling myself, well, she'll make me be a better father, because I thought that I couldn't be crazy and fun and free spirited and be a good father. So I settled. And then what happened was I got in a situation where now I'm stuck in this commitment that I didn't want to be in. So then I started living a double life and then a triple life. Then I get divorced, lose everything, and then walk into another relationship in a situation that was even worse than the last. And then started living a triple and quadruple life and started putting all of these masks on. And all I did because of a story and a lie that I told myself, and it altered my course for years.
Exactly.
And all of the damage that I caused because of that is, I mean, looking back at it, man, it makes me sick, you know? Now, I live my life much differently now, but think about all the people out there that are telling themselves stories and lies and the damage that it's not just causing themselves, but they're causing other people. So it's just it's amazing to me how powerful the stories we tell ourselves are.
It is. And isn't it interesting that by telling us these stories, we think we need to be somebody else, or we need to take on, I remember when I first got married, I was like, if I just keep the house clean, if I'm keep my kids clean, if dinner's on the table, he'll love me more, right? Yeah. And it wasn't for me, it was my actions. If my actions just match what I think the perfect wife is, he'll love me. And when I first got into the speaking business, you know, it was like, oh, I want to be one of those women of faith speakers. I want to be up on the stage. I'm going to wear what they wear, and I'm going to act like they act. And and I was trying to be somebody I wasn't.
Right.
And that just doesn't work because it's not authentic. It's not real. And it's almost like false advertising, isn't it?
Right.
How are they going to really love us because they don't even know us?
Tell me, so you mentioned that you were raped by your brother, correct? Mm-hmm. Okay. When did you start the healing process? Like how long did you allow that to soil and remain inside before you started screaming out for help?
That's a really good question. Actually, if you would have asked me when I was in my 20s, I didn't remember any of it. And I got into college and I was taking a psychology class, and it was a final. And they asked on the test symptoms of being abused. And all of a sudden, they started resonating with me. And then there was this line that said, lighting a fire. And I had lit a fire. Now, I didn't mean for the fire to be big, but it took a tree down, actually. So, yeah. See, remember back that unconditional love part?
You don't have cats, do you?
No, I was, no, it wasn't. I was just playing with matches in lighting pine needles on fire. I didn't win that, so it wasn't intentional. So anyway, back to the test. I just broke down in the middle of the test, and then all the memories came back, and I actually shut it down. Then I got into my master's degree, and we hit the topic again. I'm good with my stuff, so I'm gonna just let it out there because I don't know who's watching, and I don't know who needs to know this. But our mind is extremely powerful. It holds memories. And if we don't take care of them, they just grow and manifest, right? So when I was going through the master's degree and studying it, I actually saw spiders in my bed. Spiders that didn't exist. Yeah. So I thought, you know what? I'm not going to approach this because I don't want to keep seeing these. And so I didn't approach it. But you know what happens when we don't take care of the past, when we don't heal what's broken within us, they will keep manifesting, and we won't be in our authentic skin, and we can't do the great things that we're meant to because this stuff gets in the way. So finally, when I was 50. 50, mind you. It took me that long. That's why I wrote my book, The Power of the Question. What it is a concept book. And I asked myself the question, how come I'm not excelling? And your subconscious will answer things when you're ready for the answer. And in the morning, I heard, heal the abuse. No. Oh, look at that. I just destroyed it. Okay, back. So I said, how come I'm not excelling? And in the morning, I heard, you think you're broken. You think you're broken. So then I followed it up with, what do I need to do so I think I'm not broken? And it said, heal the abuse. So I dialed up somebody who I knew was good at that, and I faced it. And you know what, Josh? We just don't know how captive we are, what a prisoner we are, until we heal what's broken. Like, this is why you feel my joy. This is why I can radiate it out, because I carried that weight for so long. And now I'm free.
So let me ask you, in your experience, and you're very, very accomplished in what you've done. For me, I've always been confused by, like, the sexual abuse triggered thoughts that did create nightmares, but they weren't nearly as, they didn't F me up as much. It didn't F me up as much as the physical abuse, the feeling of, and look, I've forgiven my father, but this just be the truth here. Like, the feeling of his hands around my throat. I can still feel them to this day. When I'm attacked, my first instinct is go right, like, I can't even say it, but just go for the throat. Right. Whether it's verbally or physically. Like, I say on the show, I mean, people that have listened to the show now for a while, I'm sure they've heard me say bite people's faces, but I say that kind of joking around, but truthfully, there's something deep seated there, in the sense that that's what I go for, is the jugular. And because I think the physical abuse has damaged me way more than the sexual abuse did. Is that common, or what do you know about that in your experience?
It's all damaging, and each person is different too. Sometimes people will tell you, it's the verbal abuse. It's the verbal abuse I can't get over, because the thoughts are so deposited in there. Right. Yeah. So I think every person takes things differently. Yeah. I really do.
The irony too in the event that we met at is, I don't know anything about orphans and that system at all, the foster program. I didn't know anything about it until the first Cervex that Manny Lopez put on. Then I met Lauren Harris there, and then and now all of a sudden I have all of these people that are coming into my life that have been part of the foster care system, and the one thing that we have in common is the abuse. Yes, and it's so heartbreaking. It's so heartbreaking because you look at adults. I remember being a kid, and I was raised at the country club. I was 7 years old and got to frolic around the golf course all day long and was just be friends with everybody. But I was around adults, and that was my babysitter. And so, but we look to adults, we look to people that are older than us and wiser than us to protect us and to give us wisdom. And when we offer that trust to them, and then to have them use it in such a negative way, it's amazing what that does. How did you heal from your abuse?
I called a mentor up who was actually a facilitator for Clemmer and Associates, and I had known him, and he had me share my story. And like I said, there's a masterful counselors, therapists. There's this intuition sometimes that we have, and then when we feel it from somebody, we say it, because we accept that intuition that we have. And he must have had that with me, because I told him about the fire, and I felt a lot of shame about that. I mean, a ton of shame about that. And you know what he did, Josh?
What?
He laughed. He laughed. And that was so healing for me, because I didn't feel so like, you huge sinner. You know, like I got to be human. Like, it was an accident. I didn't mean for that to happen. Yeah.
The most freeing thing for me, in this journey that I've been on the last, I guess it's 3 years now, and the heal, when I finally started doing the work to heal, is the moment I realized I was grateful for everything that happened to me. Like, I was able to look, and the self-inflicted stuff I can't say I'm grateful for, because, well, it's really, really hard I can't wrap my head around what in the heck I was doing to myself. But the things that happened to me, I now look at it and smile and go, this was part of God's plan, because now I have a voice. I'm being blessed with a platform to speak out and use my voice to encourage people to have a voice and scream out. Like, you don't need to wait until you're 36 to get right. You don't need to wait. You can do it now. You can start the process now. And a lot of the healing, and I know this is something you're big on, but a lot of the healing started when I finally accepted the assignment from God to live my purpose.
Amen.
When that happened, and so in the irony in that, and it's still baffling to me how living my purpose and my pain kind of met in the middle. They started working together. What a mind-blowing thing. Like, my pain is part of my purpose, in which brings me the most joy in this world.
Yes.
What a freaking concept is that? That's amazing to me.
Right?
Like, what? It's crazy.
Yes.
So I want to talk about this. So how did you, like, for you, because you have like mastered the living purposefully.
Yes.
What made you get into that? Like, where'd the motivation come from? Okay.
So, one of my themes is love. I'm very much about love. And after 17 years of marriage, my husband and I separated. 17 years of marriage. And I really hit bottom. I began to question, what is love and how does love behave? So this became my quest. What is this love thing, right? How do I interpret when my birth mother gave me in the name of love? When my brother said, I love you, how did what kind of love is that? Right?
Right.
So, it became confusing. So after 17 years of marriage, one night I came home from a conference. I was stoked. And I came home.
Did you say you were stoned?
Stoked.
Oh, stoked. Okay, sorry. My bad.
And
shout out to Soko Cannabis.
No. And so I drove home, and what did I come home to? I came home to a dark, lonely, and empty rental house. And I got to tell you, it was just like my life. And I hit bottom that night. And I cried out to God, dear God, where are you? And you know what I heard?
What?
Nancy, I've always been there. Oh, it was a huge wake-up call for this woman. You know, I've always been there for you, but you haven't always been there for me. And it was a very humbling moment, and it was a defining moment in my life, because I was one of those wives that was like, it's your fault. Talk about resentful. I was so resentful. Holding a grudge? Oh, heck yeah, I can tell you what you did 10 years ago.
Women have that superhuman ability to pull
Right?
stuff. Oof.
Yeah. So I got humbled. I got humbled. And instead of opening my favorite book and looking at a few verses and going, oh yeah, I got to go to Vaughn's now. You know, it says that these are living words, that these words come off the page and they can just go deep in your soul and change your life. And when I read, love is patient. Love is kind. Love doesn't hold grudges. What? Love isn't resentful? What? So I got really humbled. And I decided to, you know what? I'm going to take responsibility for me. What if I take responsibility for me? Will that influence? Will that change the dynamics of our relationship? And so we got back together and we gave it a go. It's not like it was perfect, right from the get-go, but it's so much better when you just come from this heart of love. And I just really want to validate about how we can change and accepting what's happened. I even have this philosophy that I think God is, okay, this is my thoughts. I think God is almost complimenting us because he said, you know, Josh, I know you can handle this. Nancy, you've got this and I will be there for you and I am with you, but I need you on my team in this certain way. And I know that you're going to help people. And so I'm like you, I want to embrace that. We know what it's like. We know what it's like to have the pain and the struggle and the fight. And then we know what it's like to have that freedom, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I remember for the years going, where's God? Where's God? Where's God? Mm-hmm. But in looking back at it, when I finally was just shut up and learned to listen, I realized that he had been there and he had been trying to talk to me, but I said, no, I want this. I want that. I want, I think they call it, what is it? The fleshly desires or whatever. Everything to escape my head because I didn't want to deal with my crap. I didn't want to deal with my baggage. I didn't want to deal with the hurt because it felt so much better to numb it.
Yes.
And like whether it was sex or cocaine or just, and alcohol's never really been my thing, but like even alcohol or anger or a rage, like the rage felt better than tears. Like people make fun of me. I get made fun of all the time. I cry, but I have 36 years of built up tears that are been waiting to come out. Like,
yeah.
God has shown me this opportunity my whole life. And so now every one of these moments and every one of the milestones and every one of the setbacks that I have, I just know that it's going to be okay. And I trust in his plan. I got fired on my day off from a radio station. Like literally. So this is true. This is an honest to God story. I was so excited because I got picked up by a radio station that's heard globally. Not going to say their name, but Joe, hello. I know you're listening. And then after a week of just doing like, wow, it was fun. And there were some kinks and bugs and heck, there still is. I still can't figure out the intro thing, but because every day something new happens that I want to talk about in my intro. But on Saturday, I got a call from Glenn, who is with the Edge Radio Network, and he offered me a position to be on their station too. Well, I thought, well, this is great. This is an affiliate station. Now I'm going to be on 2 radio stations. Well, guess not, because I got a call going, you're fired. Or not, it didn't say you're fired, but basically you're terminated from the station. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, well, what the heck? I didn't know. And so we had a talk, and then I was given an ultimatum to choose between that radio station and the Edge Radio Network. And one was a startup. But something I prayed about and felt in my heart, you know what? This is not about how big the audience is. This isn't about any of that. This is about doing his will. This is about doing what I was created to do. So I chose to go with the Edge Radio Network. And there was a drop off, obviously, in listeners. But last night I found out that this is now powered by E360 TV. But even in that moment of getting fired, right after I thought, oh my God, I've achieved a lifelong dream, and then I get canned, I go, you know what? I just trust. I just trust that God is going to do what he has my best intentions at heart.
Absolutely.
And knowing that, I didn't miss a beat. I mean, mind you, I'm still figuring things out. But as far as my enthusiasm and my passion and my love for doing the show and getting to speak with people like yourself, that didn't change. Yeah. If anything, it was elevated, and I was encouraged because I was being supported by people that believe in me. Yeah. And for 30, I mean, however many years, I don't want to do math right now because I'm going to butcher it, but the point is that 98% of my life was about not feeling inadequate and not feeling like I was good enough and not feeling like I fit in and not feeling like I was supported and loved by anyone but my mother. But I mean, and to finally be able to just step into that purpose and have these amazing people come in my life that truly care and want me to help me get to where God wants me to go. We all have separate missions in life, and each mission is our own. Yep. But the more we live our purpose, the more steps that we take towards living our purpose, all of a sudden people start to come into your world, into your hemisphere, that are with you on your journey. And it may be for a week, it may be for a month, it may be for a few years, or it could be for a lifetime. You don't know. But the beautiful way of one of the most beautiful things in the world is watching God work when you do what you're called to do. Absolutely. So I want to ask you something. People ask all the time, how do I know what my purpose is? I know there's a few of them on here right now because they ask every day. Like, how do I know what my purpose is? What do you have to say to that?
Your purpose, you've been given gifts and natural abilities, right? So right. I would look at those. Look at those things. Look at those things that you're really good at. Sometimes there's a great saying, if you are in the frame, you cannot see the picture. If you're in the frame, you cannot see the picture. So sometimes what that means is we're just too close to ourselves sometimes to see. So imagine going outside that frame. Mm-hmm. That's why we get to imagine. Mm-hmm. So this is how I found out mine. I was working for Manpower. It was a temporary agency, right? Mm-hmm. And they sent me into another temporary agency, and they wanted me to be a spy, right?
Spy?
A spy.
Espionage?
Yes. Many
hats. Wait a second. Are you sure your name's not Nancy Drew? Does anyone remember Nancy Drew?
Right.
Okay.
And so I went in and they interviewed me, and they said, if you could be anything, what would you be? And I said, you know what? I just want to be a speaker, and I want to speak about something I'm passionate about. Whoa. That was way back when, right?
Oh, wow.
So if you take yourself out and let yourself imagine, dream, if I could be anything, regardless of money, how I perceive myself, regardless anything, what would I be? Yeah.
I love that because I did the same thing. I told this story, I think, in one of the other shows I did when I was crying my eyes out about, it was when I bought the microphone. And, and and all my guys I worked with and golfing buddies and we were always obsessed with talk radio. We always talked about talk radio. We had our favorite shows and we would do bits and I always say, man, I swear to you, if I could do anything in the world, I would be a radio host. And I would just say it but also say it without the belief that it was possible. Uh-huh. Because I'm like, I'm in Oklahoma and I'm such a boob. Anyway, I'm in Oklahoma. I'm in sales. Like, I can't do radio. I'm not going to go to radio school. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. Oh my gosh. I got to tell you, every day, I just think about those little seeds that were planted and I always pull up my phone when this happens, but Morning gratitude started on this phone. And to think about that, and I didn't take it serious, but the minute I go, wait a second, after hearing TD Jakes talk and the minute of like doing this purposefully, setting the time, 9 a.m. Pacific, and treating it like a show and trying to do, I would put YouTube videos up originally because I wanted to have the intro, because one of the things about lives are like, oh, I'm going to wait for some people to join. And you're sitting there awkward for 10 seconds. I'm waiting. I'm like, come on. So we're going to play music videos. Well, then YouTube got mad at me. And then I figured out, someone blessed me and said, oh, you only get 30 seconds of music before you get in trouble. So that's where the music came from. But also the music, that is also what helps me You saw me on camera. Like, I'm a nervous freaking wreck before I do this, especially today. But I mean, here's the thing. And I think this is something that you're saying is, if you have a dream and you feel it, you know it, and you go, man, if you're saying to yourself, if I could do anything in the world, I would do this. Now, look, if it's be a doctor, yeah, you're going to have to go to school. You're going to have to study. Whatever it may be, the point is this. The first step you take is not going to get you there. It's a freaking journey, and you got to work for it. It's not easy.
Right.
It's not going to be given to you. But if you do it purposefully, if you take the steps purposefully, I promise you, your dreams will come true. I swear to you. Dadgummit, if anyone can, I'm proving it, and I've not reached my goals. I have not where I want to go with this and what I want to do. I'm not there.
Yes.
But dadgummit, getting there is not the fun part. It's the journey, baby.
Yeah.
It's the journey. Every day, like that step, one more step. The joy is unbelievable, and look, life still is going to suck sometimes. But when you wake up in the morning, you get to go, man, I'm going to go do this. I get to do this.
Right.
It's beautiful.
Right.
Sorry. Anyway, sorry.
The world wants to tell us, okay, risk it, go for it. I honestly don't believe we're risking anything, because we've already been deposited these gifts and natural abilities. And I'm sure, have you ever been like this? Okay, God, well, I have this great idea for you. If you could just do this for me. And then he's like, okay, well, when you're done, I've got some doors for you to go through. So let me know when you're ready. But he does. I think he just opens these doors, and we could never get there on our own. Yeah.
How do you know if you don't try?
Right.
And look, guys, I want to say something. I have to say this. You don't have to have the money to do it. If you have a dream, there's a way that you can at least take the step. If you want to be a writer and your dream is to write a book and you don't own a computer, notepads, right? If like, I'm dyslexic, one of my dreams is to write a book. And every time I sat down to try to write a book, I'm like, my ADD went crazy, and I would start confusing words and freaking out and going all over the place. But then I started blogging and this was part of the journey in getting here, and we won't go into the story, but I taught myself to write by blogging, and it would be like a couple hundred words at a time. And because that's all I could focus on. And then I developed what I learned about flow state. And I learned how to trick my brain to where all of a sudden, like, all the craziness and noise around me became this channeled energy where I could just write. And then sooner than later, I'm writing 1,400 word blogs going, oh crap, I got to cut this in half because they say to have it at 600 words. I have 65 chapters written for my book, and I was a dyslexic mess. I still am. If you want to do something, you just got to take the first step, and then the next day take another step. And if you take a step back, do your best to take 2 steps the next day.
That's right. Yeah. I remember when I was at the workshop and the facilitator said, "What are you doing to move forward in the purpose of your life?" And my answer was, absolutely nothing. And so I got moving. And remember that speaker I wanted to be?
Mm-hmm.
So I claimed it, right? I said it out loud. I want to be a motivational speaker. When I went home after this workshop, I tell you what, Josh, I went to this restaurant and there happened to be this piece of paper on the door and it said, Toastmasters meets here. And I was like, I've never seen this before. What? So, it's just like you said, one step at a time. And when I first started speaking, when I was nervous, Josh, this is what my lip would do. It would distort like Elvis. And my chest would break down.
I can't do it.
But really, honor what's in you. And it'll work out, right? One step at a time. For me, it was one speech at a time. Why do you think I spoke 500? Because it took that many times.
That is quite the accomplishment. Really quick, I want to give a shout out to the Edge Radio Network and everybody listening live on Spreaker, and an absolute welcome to everybody from E360 TV. Thank you guys so much. I want to give a shout out to our Facebook audience, all of you lovely people, Lucette, Denise, Eileen, good to see you. God, people from all over the world here. Avi, my man, Monica, Glenn, good to see you. Wow, what a beautiful crowd. Trisha, great to see you. Carl. Welcome everybody else that I can't see on the screen. Thank you guys so much for joining us and our amazing guest, Nancy Burroughs. And up next after Nancy, we have Chris and Eric Martinez, which will also be fantastic. So what's next for you, Nancy? What do you have going on?
I claim this year is my launching year. So I'm like you, I'm going to start doing podcasts and webinars, and social media is really just booming these days, isn't it? And how fantastic. Look at the names that you just named and where they're from. We can
all over the world.
World. Yes.
The UK, we've got people from Jordan, like not Michael Jordan, the country Jordan. People from all over the United States. We have somebody from China and Tokyo that joins. It's just,
yes,
it's amazing. It's so amazing. And here's the thing. Here's what the coolest part about social media to me is, because it's got its flubs and flaws, and there's a dark underbelly of it, of course. But the point I'm trying to make is social media shows that we are all God's children. We all have passion. We all have purpose. We all have a voice that needs to be heard. It doesn't matter where you're from and what you look like, who you love, and who you worship. You all have a voice, and you all have a message that needs to be heard. And this show is obviously blessed to be able to help people do that. What's up, Nick Harris? It's blessed. Good morning, John. It's blessed to be able to help people share their stories from around the world. But the point is, Canada, what's up? The point is that we're all the same. Like, we are not different.
Right.
You know, and so I hope that when you guys go out in public, if you're somebody that does have reservations or may discriminate a little bit, I'm hoping that social media and shows like this, I'm not patting myself on the back, but I'm just looking at the screen in front of me, and I know where people are listening from around the world on Spreaker, in the Edge Radio Network and E360, people from all over the world. Like, this is proving that we all have a common interest in living our passion, living purposefully, and using the gifts that God gave us for good.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's why, I'm so passionate to help people heal what isn't working inside. And it takes a long time to find the best thing. It really does. So how can we really embrace that purpose until we heal what's preventing us from really stepping into that greatness that God gave us?
Right. Absolutely. I want to tell me real quick, and we're almost out of time. Tell me about your morning routine. What do you do every morning to prepare yourself for the battle you take on? Because anyone that's living as purposefully as you are and living with the Spirit, I know you get attacked. You suffer attacks from the enemy as much as anybody. And the more you step into your purpose, the more attacks you get. What do you do to prepare yourself each and every day?
Okay. So I believe I mentor people and people mentor me. I believe it's two ways. So I'm up at 5:45 and I'm on a motivational call from my mentor. That sets me for my purpose. Next thing, what do? One of his assignments was write out a list and pick 2 of the things that are most important that would change your life. You know what was on that list? Read my Bible. And it was this wake up moment of, you know what? Every day, just as committed as we do anything else, whether it's Facebook, right? Or that 5:45 motivational call. I can get up for the call, but not read my Bible. Hello. So it's plugging in, man. It's plugging in.
Absolutely. Man, you know what? For being on the show today, I'm going to give you a giraffe.
Awesome.
Yeah. You cannot sell it and you cannot give it away. What are you going to do with it?
What am I going to do with it? You know what? I'm a collector of things like that. So see this? This is a little chair that one of my mentors gave me to imagine sitting a long time with God. These hearts, except for the red one, I find on the road. I think God romances me, and I find these hearts everywhere, everywhere, Josh. So the giraffe is going to sit there, and it's like, stick your neck out in your purpose, right? Make things happen. Ask for things. Be of service to other people so that things come back. I think it's a great reminder. That's what I would use it for.
I've never heard that answer before. I'll take it. Okay, hold on. I got one more. Last one. A penguin walks into a bar wearing a sombrero. What does the penguin say, and what does it do?
I would really like to turn this sombrero in for a tuxedo. Do you know what I can do?
You are our guest. You can do whatever you want. I quit. Oh my gosh. Nancy, I love you. You're amazing. I'm so blessed to call you a friend, and thank you so much for being on Morning Gratitude. I want to have you back on so we can go deeper into purpose and your other projects and promote your podcast. And look, you're a friend of the show. Anything we can do to support you, we are going to do.
Awesome. Thank you, Josh, for having me.
God bless you. Amazing. Oh, God, bye. Oh, man. Wow. That was fun. You know what? Sometimes, look, so if for the new listeners on Spreaker and the Edge Radio Network and the people watching on E360 TV and the people watching on Facebook Live, look, you guys know that if you're familiar with the show, sometimes there's laughing, sometimes there's crying, sometimes there's insanity. It's going to be all over the place, but it always comes back to gratitude. And that is gratitude and joy. That's gratitude when things go your way. It's gratitude when things don't. It's gratitude through pain. It's gratitude through it all. And that's what it's all about. So sometimes we're going to discuss things that are a little painful. But we also want to show and inspire that, the broadcast again. This is, you know what, Be Live, fix your software. I'm going to Zoom. And if anyone knows Be Live out there, tell them I said that, please, because this is twice it's happened. But you guys know that, look, I'm hoping with everything in me to, with these guests and their messages, that it inspires you and shows you that you can get through anything. You can get through anything, and you should never quit. You should never, ever give up on your dreams. I am super stoked to have our next guest on. These guys are awesome. It's a good song. I don't know. Can you guys hear that? It's not very loud. Hold on. Let me crank it up a little bit. Yeah. Man, these next guys, the dynamic duo, I'm sure you guys know them. And ladies, behave today, because I know some of you got a little crazy with my guest earlier this week. And look, Chris and Eric Martinez, I had the pleasure of meeting them also at Cervex, but this Cervex in Orange County. I love these dudes, man. Like millennials, I'm sure they're millennials. They look like millennials. They're younger than me. Anybody that is that age that is trying to set the world on fire in a good way and inspiring people, improving people's life, mind, body, spirit, health, all of it. These guys are just, man, they're incredible. Like, they're incredible. They're so inspiring. I love what they're about. And I'm honored to have, I'm honored to have everybody on my show, but these guys are kind of celebrities. And to have them on the show, to have them come talk to you guys means a lot to me. So we're going to get right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, the dynamic duo. Oh my God, they're identical twins. I've never, it's kind of fun. I can see them. You can't see them yet. They really are. I think they're freaking identical twins. They look exactly alike. I want to ask them about dating. Chris and Eric Martinez, what's up? Welcome to Morning Gratitude. How are you guys?
Joshua, how you doing, man? Thank you so much for having us. And hopefully the eyebrows aren't taking over the entire screen. That was kind of our big concern coming on here.
Dude, I got some pretty big eyebrows too, man. But I got a bigger head, so it kind of pulls them apart a little bit. Wow, you guys, welcome to the show. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us. How are you today?
We're doing good. I mean, can't complain. I mean, Friday, the weather's great out here in sunny SoCal, so too blessed to be stressed, as Manny Lopez says.
You know what? It's every time I talk to him and he say it, he really means it.
Yeah.
He really means it. And it's terrific because, yeah, it's a great mantra. Guys, first and foremost, before we get into it, what are you guys grateful for today?
Just waking up another day. Honestly, I really try to just, practice just a life of abundance, just my surroundings, this guy right here, my girlfriend, everything, so I'm just grateful for those things. Sometimes, we take the small things for granted. So I'm just grateful for that for myself. Yeah. And one thing,
are you Eric or Chris though? I can't tell. And I want to know, how in the world does your girlfriend know the difference?
You got to take a guess right
now. Okay. So on my right, wait, I can't point. So my right, Chris.
Wait. Let's go by the shirt.
I'm colorblind. They look like the same. The V-neck. Okay, V-neck is Chris.
Joshua.
No?
That's Eric.
Gosh dang it. All right. So I want to know, what is the difference? Because you guys look exactly alike.
I think the biggest difference is I have more tattoos on my arms as opposed to Chris. So that one's kind of like a dead giveaway. But if we're both wearing hats or long sleeves, that's a tough one then.
Well, let's not fool anybody though. I am better looking than him though.
Well, you guys look exactly the same. I think one of you should cut little things in your eyebrows.
Right?
Yeah.
Like Vanilla Ice. Anyway. So I really appreciate it. You guys coming on the show. So tell me, what's going on with you two? I mean, you guys, the last I saw, you're doing webinars that are blowing up, and you do these amazing Facebook Lives. You have a fantastic book. Wow. I mean, what the heck? What are you up to?
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. We're just on a massive mission right now. We're just really trying to stick to our vision, our core values, what we're about, what we've learned the past decade, just being business owners, being entrepreneurs, just what life has taught us. We're constant students. We're trying to get better, surround ourselves with people like you to uplift us, stay hungry. So, man, we are just on this massive mission, but it's tough. We have our ups and downs like the entrepreneur roller coaster, but we're trying to stay focused. We're trying to make an impact on the world. And, yeah, that's pretty much what we're up to right now.
So what exactly is the mission?
So the main mission really is just to impact lives. Like for us, when we first started this out, it was really all about fitness, really changing body compositions, increasing like confidence, all that stuff. But now it's really evolved into really just helping people become a better version of themselves, and then using the fitness as an icing on the cake, right? So we're huge into personal development. We're huge into shifting their mindset. We're huge into transitioning what we call living a badass lifestyle. And then on top of that, that's when you start adding the fitness in, right? That's just a tool. Okay. So right now we're trying to really, cultivate all 5 of those elements that we're talking about for somebody.
And that's just to add on to that really quick. This is something that we really talk about more in depth in our book, The New Era of Fitness. So we see fitness as a form of personal development, and just with where society is going, where technology is going, it's just like, if you're not working on yourself as well as kind of your body, then, you're really not going to evolve. And we're trying to preach more to chase the 6-pack in the brain first, then chase the 6-pack on the outside, right? Everybody just wants to be physically fit, but nobody wants to be mentally, emotionally, and spiritually fit.
So this is the thing. So there's a lot of the personal development gurus, when you look at them, they're sloppy. I mean, everything that comes out of their mouth is great. It's like a pastor who is preaching about the importance of eating well and talking about the Daniel plan. I didn't mean to call him out. He just rejected me to be on the show. But he's talking about being healthy and fitness, and he's preaching it and talking about the Daniel fast, but he's not working out. Motivational speakers the same way. Like, you cannot if you're not taking care of yourself physically, how do you expect your message to be taken seriously, is what I've always believed. And what you guys are doing, you guys incorporating all of it, because it all matters. I love that. But I want to know, you guys are millennials. Like, people are like, how do you feel about, like, millennials are so disrespected. Like, they're lazy, they're this, they're that. They don't take anything serious. They live in their parents' basement. What do you have to say to that? Obviously, you're proving them wrong. You don't live in your parents' basement, do you?
No.
Okay. So what do you have to say about that? Because I personally think millennials are the most misunderstood generation since maybe the 60s generation.
Yeah, so I want to touch on what you talked about earlier about the personal development thing and the gurus, and Eric can touch on the millennials thing since he's a minute older. So what you talked about in the personal development thing, here's the problem that I see is a lot of these people that they're preaching are not practitioners. They're not walking the walk. It's so easy these days to hop on like a video, a webinar, and just talk, but nobody is sitting there doing the actual work, walking the walk, right? And that's something that what we really pride ourselves on is being true practitioners. We live and breathe this lifestyle every single day, and we admit when we make mistakes. We admit when we need to sit there and learn something, change something, and then we'll go out there and teach it. And I think a lot of these practitioners, they're just one-sided. They just sit there and they read a book, or they go to a seminar. They come off this high and they're just like, okay, well, here, you got to do this, and then you got to buy my product. But they're not really living, breathing the lifestyle, and they're not really true practitioners.
And I think to add to your question about millennials, and I think you're spot on about that. A lot of millennials are really disrespected and overlooked, and they are looked at as spoiled, just instantaneous gratification. And there is some truth to that, but at the end of the day, it's like millennials are, what's going to take us, through the next generation, keep innovating with things going around. And it's like a double-edged sword, right? To me, it just comes down to surroundings, your upbringing, your mentors. That's something that's really key. So for us, we're thankful for our parents, just raising us right. Then we put ourselves in a position with mentors. So the last 5 to 7 years we've invested in high level mentors from fitness, business, marketing, personal branding, to where it's like we want to expedite that learning curve and learn from them. And a lot of millennials don't want to do that, right? They think that they can do it on their own. They have that superhuman ego and syndrome. So I think it just really comes down to where is this millennial's mindset at? Is he basing his business around his core values? Is he, is he in the growth mindset, or is he still in that fixed mindset?
I love that. I read an article talking about millennials being misunderstood. And what a lot of people forget is, my parents, and in the way where I grew up, it was about, work hard and get an education And you know, but it was also about spending money on credit cards and financing things. And then all of a sudden we had the economy crashed, and the millennials witnessed that crash and what it was like to do without. And the mindset of a millennial that I love, that I think is rubbing off on people my age and hopefully older, is the willingness to collaborate and work together.
Yeah.
It's changed to me the way networking is looked at, because you guys are willing to work together, collaborate, come together for projects. And whether it's temporary or long term, the fact is you're willing to collaborate. You're willing that you don't necessarily need to own the 50,000 square foot house. Like, you know, Uber is a thing now where we have a more of a shared mindset. But it doesn't take away from your drive. You guys are two of the most motivated people I've ever seen in my life. And you're trying to change the world. You're trying to make the world a better place, because maybe you've seen a greedy world and you want it to be different. Like, that's what I like about millennials.
Yeah. No, thank you very much for the kind words too.
No, man, I think you guys are great. So what I do want to know, though, you guys have taken on a huge mission. Like, I mean, you really are trying to change the world. Where does that come from at your age? Like, who installed that in you, that drive, that passion, and that desire to do things as right as you can do them?
No, that's such a great question. A lot of people don't ask us that. And I think that comes down to our father, right? So unfortunately, he passed away 14 years ago. We were seniors in high school, 3 days before Christmas. He was a correctional officer at San Quentin State Prison. So, you know, he fell asleep behind the wheel, passed away. So our life really changed after that. So it's been an uphill battle ever since then. Then our mother turned to alcohol, antidepressant pills. We lost her mother due to cancer. So like I said, it's been a lot for our family to handle, and for us as well too as individuals. So I think what really installed all that, you know, that grit, that hard work was our father, because he worked his ass off. He really did. And we saw that day in and day out. But as, you know, young kids at 13 to 16, you don't really appreciate that. You don't see the work ethic. You don't appreciate that. But then as you get older, you reflect on that and you're like, wow, you know, our dad was amazing. Like, he literally was, you know, the role model, everything for our family. So that really stuck with us. And we're like, wow, we were blessed with a gift and talent with work ethic, to where it's like, we are relentless. Right. And then we get our integrity and our huge heart from our mother. So, you know, with those two combinations, that has really been kind of like the recipe for, you know, our drive and our vision and mission, you know, that has brought us to where we are today.
I love that. And I'm so sorry. For the people that do not know Chris and Eric Martinez, I want to read this real quick. They're known as the Dynamic Duo. They operate a world-class online training, nutrition, and lifestyle consulting business by the name of Dynamic Duo Training. Chris and Eric are also business coaches that help fitness enthusiasts grow their online businesses, along with being #1 international best-selling authors and speakers. Chris and Eric have worked with thousands of people via online and in person to help them look better, feel better, perform better, and live a dynamic lifestyle through training, nutrition, mindset, personal development, and lifestyle practices. They practice what they preach. I can attest to this. They practice what they preach on a daily basis, and that's to live a dynamic lifestyle, which in their eyes means to keep evolving in life, of that, training and nutrition, and to never live a static and complacent lifestyle. Be excited every morning and reach for the stars. You deserve it. Again, guys, I can attest to that. I've been watching your growth just since Cervex OC. Just really, really proud of what you guys are doing, and I love that. Who would you say is your biggest influence? Is it your father?
I would say he's our biggest influence. Like kind of what Eric said, just seeing the day-to-day work that he did, you know, waking up like at 4 a.m, coming home, taking a nap, and trying to be attentive to us and really keep us in a straight line to become the people we are today. You know, he never missed a basketball game, never missed a soccer game. So yeah, he is our biggest influence, you know, and it's like, unfortunately we lost him at a very young age, you know, but that's exactly why I think we gravitated towards mentors as well too, you know, because we wanted to keep surrounding ourselves by higher level mentors, people that have made mistakes and people that can teach us. And that's, I think, another reason why we have such a huge drive to make an impact, is because we see the power of what mentors can do. And if we could have had a mentor from 18 to 24, which was the darkest period in our life, if I could have had a mentor there, man, I could have avoided so much pain and agony, but it's one of those things you can't rewind the clock, but you could always go forward and teach people so they can avoid that situation too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we are in the social media age, no joke, because we're on social media now. But there's trolls and there's haters and there's people that no matter how good you try to do, they're going to come at you. I know you guys have haters because anyone that's trying to do God's work is going to have haters. How do you keep the haters, the people coming at you, the people that want to knock you down, the people that want to dismiss you because you're a millennial? How do you keep that from clouding your vision for your mission?
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we get a ton of comments about our eyebrows, so I had to throw that out. There's probably one every single morning on YouTube. But to be honest, though, man, there's kind of two ways to go about it. I've seen like some other influencers. They'll sit there and attack people. They'll let it ruin their day. They'll let it get under their skin. They'll fire back at the comments. For me, I am not going to waste a single minute of my time, my breath, my energy towards a comment, towards anything like that, right? So I ignore them. You know what I mean? There's this old saying where it's like you can wrestle with a pig, but at the same time, you're going to get dirty or something like that. It's so true, man. That's exactly what they want. They want you to wrestle with them and go back at it, and then they end up winning, right? And then you end up wasting time, energy. You're frustrated. You lose track of what you're doing for the day. So for me personally, I don't give into that stuff, and I recommend people just don't even give into it. Don't give them the time of day. Just brush it off like it didn't even pop up, Yeah,
I agree with Chris on that too. I'm very much like that. And one of our mentors told me one time, he was like, you know what, don't even waste your time with that. The best way to get back at your haters is just keep doing what you're doing and live that awesome lifestyle. And then that'll shut them up.
I love that. I love it. Wow, man. So there's so people are already harassing your eyebrows. So, Spreaker audience and the Edge Radio Network, you guys cannot see the comments unless you've come over and joined us on Facebook or E360 TV. But, oh my gosh, the comments are hilarious. You trolls. Randy, you're a troll. Bonnie, oh, here they are. Here she is. Bonnie already likes you guys.
Hi, Bonnie. How you doing?
Bonnie, you cannot sexually harass our guest. You calm down. Lauren Harris, yes, I know it's a white door. We're getting a green screen soon. Leave me alone. Lauren also says, you almost look related. It's uncanny. LOL. Hi, guys. Love these guys.
Hey, what's up, Lauren? How you doing?
Elizabeth Cantu, hope you're feeling better. She says you guys are awesome. You guys are awesome. So where do you want to go? What's the next step? You guys got a lot going on. You've got your hands in a little bit of everything. What is your ultimate end goal? What's your goal? What is the goal that you have that almost seems unattainable, but you're going to get it?
That's a great question. And number one, I think, is just, right now this year, we're really testing out, more speaking engagements, seeing if we like the lifestyle of actually traveling, which already is pretty exhausting. So we have a lot of speaking engagements that we're very grateful for coming up in 2018. So that's going to be a great test. From there, obviously, we want to keep pushing our book out there because that was a huge accomplishment towards us. And there's such a great message in that book to where it's we want to keep pushing that out there, keep changing people's mindset with fitness and not having them look at it as black and white and under a microscope anymore, that it's more of a growth mindset. And like I said, it's more of a lifestyle type of approach. After that, I think we want to keep pursuing our next endeavor with, coaching, these fitnesspreneurs, personal trainers, how to sit there and take their in-person business to online and actually scale their business. I think there's a huge gap for that. And we have a lot of experience with our business the last 8 years. We've had high-level mentors, coaches, to where it's now it's our turn to sit there and give back to them, serve them, and teach them the right way to do things.
Yeah. And so one thing, too, is I want to just strangle this guy. That's the vision going forward. It drives me crazy. But seriously, the one thing though I think is a great message too for your listeners that we've learned and going forward, it's great to have a vision, very crystal clear vision to keep you on track. But I think it's also important to not get married to that vision, because what that's going to do is it's going to create you to be fixated on that, and you need to be able to pivot and adapt when things come up. And us as humans, we have different interests. Things come up, different opportunities come up, and I think you need to be able to sit there and adapt and pivot to some of those opportunities. And I'm a huge proponent in experimenting with things, right? So like with Eric and I, we love experimenting with things like what we're doing, speaking right now. We want to experiment with maybe doing some masterminds of ourselves, some workshops, some meetups, things like that. So you just got to test things out and see what you really like to do going forward, but still stay within alignment with your vision. But don't get so fixated on it. It's like it's this straight linear line.
Bonnie's funny. I love her. I don't sexually harass people. I'm just trying to have fun. I know. And she's also a twin. Good. That is great advice. Oh my gosh. I don't know if you guys can see the comments, but I can. Yeah, and sometimes I cannot keep my composure. Wow, guys, I'm so grateful that you came on the show. Do me a favor, because your book is fantastic. It's just, it's in the other room, and I can't leave. But please plug your book in the comments, because I do really encourage people to read your book. And then also follow you on all of your social media. I'll make sure to plug all that stuff in the comments for people, because you guys really are, to me, like guys men and women out there that have kids that are growing up. These two are fantastic mentors. They're really, I really believe in them, and I just know that they're going to do amazing things in this world. I mean, they already are, but it's just going to continue to grow. Chris and Eric, thank you so much. I'm also going to give you a giraffe.
A giraffe, huh?
Yeah, but you have to share it. You can't give it away, and you can't sell it, and you have to share it. What are you going to do with the giraffe?
Oh, man, I guess I'm going to put it right here next to this bookshelf that I have so I can see it every morning, and then I'm like, oh, Joshua gave me that.
No, it's a real giraffe, dude. I don't think it's going to fit in that room.
I know this guy, a giraffe fitting in the room. Josh,
it's a real giraffe. What are you going to do with it?
I don't know, man. I'm stumped on that now.
I guess what I'll do with it is I'll ride it around LA to bypass all the traffic. How about that?
Yeah.
And if motorcycles can go in between cars, so can a giraffe.
I like Chris's idea.
You guys. Hey, thank you so much for joining the show. God bless you guys, and keep up the great work, man.
Thanks so much for having us, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Joshua. Keep up the great work, man.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. See you soon. Man, I got to find a new question, and I got sunlight in my eyes. I'm going to have to start wearing sunglasses during the show. Walk the giraffe on the beach. There you go. Yeah, they live in L.A. What the heck? Can you imagine? Can you imagine seeing a giraffe? Again, dadgummit. Be Live, fix your software. Can you imagine having a giraffe walk in the middle of cars on the 405? That would be hilarious. Or rolling down the Sunset Strip with a giraffe. I'd wear a cowboy hat, a Speedo, and cowboy boots, and I would wear a saddle and just ride it up and down Sunset all the time. I don't know how well the giraffe would do in San Diego. Anyway, Trisha, welcome back. Okay, so everybody listening, everybody that's listening right now on Spreaker and the Edge Radio Network, thank you guys so much. This has been an amazing week. It's been a tremendous blessing. And so many new changes. E360, really starting Monday, is going to be an adventure. But I want to thank all of you guys that are watching on E360 and from E360. Thank you for the support. Thank you for believing in this show. Thank you, Facebook audience. You guys, I'm so thankful for you guys. I love you guys so much. If you're listening on the radio right now, you can follow the madness that happens in these comments every day. If just look up Joshua T. Berglan's Morning Gratitude, or just look up Joshua T. Berglan. We stream from both. I want to give a shout out really quick to SoCo Cannabis Creative. off again. Dadgummit, this is annoying. So anyway, one other thing. Cauliflower pizza. So as you guys know, I'm obsessed with this cauliflower pizza. It is the greatest pizza ever. I honestly, like, why would you ever order anything, you know, like from Pizza Hut or whatever, unless if they want to sponsor the show. But I'm obsessed with this cauliflower pizza. It's cauliflower crusted pizza. And I went to Ralph's and bought every one that they had yesterday. I'm obsessed with it. It's so good, and it's actually healthy. What would you imagine? But I've contacted them, and I've been harassing them about them sponsoring the show. And I got an email back from them. And so I don't know. We'll see. Stay tuned. Anyway, you guys are amazing. I'm so grateful for all of you watching the show. It means the world to me. It's been a fun week. Next week, I think we are going to have a better intro because I swear to you, I have butchered the intro so bad every day. And it's just, I get so excited and giddy. Like, I need someone to do it for me. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful for you and all of the support, the love, all of your shares, likes, comments, all of that stuff. Thank you again, Spreaker audience. Thank you again, the Edge Radio Network. Thank you, E360 TV. Thank you, Facebook Live. God bless you, and see you very, very soon. Bye-bye.